Thank you so much for coming. This is gonna be my first ever stream, so I apologize in advance for technical difficulties. And we are going to be doing reading sprints for the Nostalgia Book Club, which was created by the lovely Violet. And I am going to let her and my other co-hosts introduce themselves now.
Oh, okay. So I guess I will go first. I'm Violet. My channel is Writing Violet. I do writing vlogs, challenges, experiments, and sometimes craft book reviews. Crystal?
That just explains everything. I am Crystal. My channel is Crystal's Cluster, where I make writing content, gameplay content, and D&D story type content with or without animation, depending on how far I get. It's a cluster. I'm a mess. Hi.
Hi, I'm Danny. My channel is somberhoney, and I post videos every Friday about reading and writing and pretty much anything else I want to talk about. And I have writing vlogs go up every other Tuesday, including today. So, yeah.
So make sure you check them out, although I'm guessing if you're here, you're probably already subscribed to them. So, and yeah, I don't think I introduced myself because I'm panicking.
You're doing great.
Sorry. This is so much harder than it looks. My name is Martha, and I make art and writing vlogs and general YouTube content about basically anything. And yeah, do we want to go straight into the first sprint so I can breathe? Okay. Yay!
Oh, I'm so glad it's the dinos.
Yay, dinos!
Everybody loves them.
that was the end of sprint 1. What did everybody do?
Because I made notes.
I read like 20 pages.
Much
Dang.
better than I did. I
Oh,
realized
20
during...
pages? Sorry.
Sorry, I realized during the first minute of that sprint that I forgot to say hi to the chat. Doing great, clearly. So, do you want to go back up and say hello to everyone? So Michael's here. He went for a walk a very long time ago, and is now ready to go. Stig is here. Hello.
Hi, Stig.
And Michael says hi to Stig. Michael being encouraging and lying to me. Hi, Anja. This is where I noticed that I forgot to say hi. Michael saying hi to Anja. Yay, I know. Anja saying hi to Michael. Yes, it would be. Hi, Sasha. Michael saying hi to Sasha. Skeek says, I'm not reading Eragon, did it once, was enough for me, but I am reading Six of Crows. Ooh, that finally arrived after a month and a half, because I love international shipping to backorder Norway. That's cool. I did mean to ask people in the chat what they're reading, if they're not reading Eragon, so feel free to tell me that, or if you're doing something different, feel free to tell me that as well. Also, Sasha says hi.
I can't with all that.
Stig read one page, which is still more than I read.
Listen, I read fast, and this is also a reread, so sometimes I just skim.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, fair enough.
Michael also read less than one page. How long do you do sprints go for? I'm assuming it's longer than the averages for writing sprints. I'm not sure. I was gonna do like the first 10 minutes and then just like 20, 25, and then depending on how much time we have, maybe another 20 or 15. Not sure if that works for you guys either. Like,
Yeah.
we'll play it by ear a little bit. Also, hi, Klatscha. Oh, Anna's here. Hi. This is a lot more people than I was expecting. This was supposed to be low pressure. And Michael says hi to Anna.
Obviously, yeah.
Oh, that's a lot. Of Eragon, I'm assuming, because Anna's also reading Eragon. And Anna says hi to Michael. Okay, so that
All the
was all
hellos.
the comments.
Look, Crystal's got into complete blanket mode.
My hands are so freaking cold, I will admit. I should have probably made hot coffee instead of cold coffee.
I did copy Wallace's style a little bit and make some questions. Yeah.
Fun.
Yay.
They're all like related to the book club and stuff, but I'm trying to keep it very vague because we're doing the spoiler discussion in like 2 weeks, but just like a little bit of a teaser on how everyone's feeling about the book. So the first question is, how far have you gotten? Which Anja already preempted and answered in the chat. Are you enjoying it or are you finding it hard to get through? And for Danni, who's the only one out of you three that's rereading it, are you enjoying it as much as you remember enjoying it? So,
Am I
Violet, do you
answering
wanna go
first or?
I figured we'd do like the clockwise thing, so Danni, Violet, Crystal, Danni.
Okay.
Oh, so me first. What's the first part? How far have you gotten? I think I'm on chapter 11 this far.
Are your chapters numbered?
No.
Okay, mine aren't either, and it's been bugging me.
It's been bugging me too. It's really bugging me. How I'm liking it so far, or finding it hard to get through? No, the prose doesn't bother me, the purple prose that I heard there was going to be, but the dialogue is a little bit stiff and kind of info dumpy. But other than that, I like it. I like it so far.
That's good. Do you think you'll want to continue reading the second one?
Too soon to tell.
Okay.
Okay. I haven't made it very far at all. I'm trying really hard, but I'm a very slow reader, especially since I make notes. Or at least I'm trying to make notes for like the first time ever. I'm enjoying it though. Since part of this is I think about halfway this is a reread so far, but I don't remember a lot of it, so it's kind of new, kind of familiar. It's like, wait, I think I remember this happening. But yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it. I am also very, very tempted to take my pen, because these are mine, and right next to the name of every single chapter, I am tempted to write the number because it is driving me nuts.
I didn't even notice the lack of chapters until you guys mentioned it last week.
I appreciate that there's chapter titles because you don't see that a lot anymore, but like I need the numbers too.
Yep. I'm a both girl. Hardcore both girl.
Agreed.
I am on page 120, so like this far into it, my copy is like 750 pages because it's the mass market paperback from whatever year it came out. And I'm just getting into some big action. I think we've had like a big inciting incident, and I read this just over a year ago. It was my first read of 2020, and that was my first time ever reading it. So like I vaguely remember it, but I've also read like a lot of books since then, so I don't know like details, and it's been so fun like rediscovering everything that happens, and I've been taking notes of like things that I notice more now as a reread, like foreshadowing and stuff. It's been super fun.
That's cool. I thought you were like Katie, like having read it back when you were younger. I didn't realize it was fairly recent for you.
I watched the movie a lot when I was younger. Like I loved the movie, which like obviously isn't exactly like the book, but I didn't read it for the first time until last year.
That's good. And I guess I should probably answer as well. Is that how this works? Well, I'm on page just after 400. So I did start a bit earlier, I think. I am loving it. I did read it for the first time when I was 14, 13, at which point I think it was one of the first books that I read in English. So I didn't notice the purple prose. I also didn't understand much of the purple prose at the time. So I'm really, really enjoying it at the minute. As much, if not more, than back then. Shall we go back to the comments? Feel free to, like, if anyone's reading it, to answer as well. Where were we? I was deciding whether to read Eragon today or Prairie of the Orange Tree. I went with the book that would not give me a hernia. Which one's that? I'm gonna guess Eragon? Michael being funny. Treating this question like it's about writing, I'm 67,766%. I'm finding the ending hard to get through. I'm not enjoying this writing experience as much as others. That's a good way to use the question. And that is an insane amount of words. Are you like, do you know how many words you're gonna write in total? Because this ending is very hard. Okay, so you are at the end. And Geek says, I'm just gonna answer the question for Six of Crows. I'm on chapter 4, and Leva Dugo's writing style is just up my alley, and this is already infinitely better than the Shadow and Bunch. Ooh, good to know. And there's... Okay, I thought we were done, we're not done. I'm doing numbers, titles, and point of view character name for my chapter headings.
It's very much appreciated.
What did you all think of the prologue? I haven't read it recently, but I did read a craft book that specifically called out Eragon for having a bad prologue. Do you guys want to answer that first?
I mean, I didn't think it was too bad. Like, I thought it was a fine prologue, as fine as prologues go. It set up a thing, showed a thing of importance, and then, bad things happened.
It was, I guess, just okay for me. I would have preferred just to jump right in to the story.
I liked the prologue a lot, but I'm also looking at it specifically from like literary critique in like a very narrow viewpoint. I really like alchemy in books, and so I'm looking at it from that point of view, and from that point of view, the prologue really sets up the book phenomenally in terms of themes. And so I really enjoy the prologue. It's kind of like weird that it's so out of the way of the rest of the story, but I mean, I liked it.
I'm not sure if it was just because I hadn't read it in a while, but the prologue really stood out to me in terms of the prose being a bit cringy, like far too purpley. I found it a bit harder to get through. But then, I'm not sure if I just got used to it later on, or the prologue's particularly bad in that regard. But I just remember finding it a bit cringe when I was reading it. Skeek says that Priory is so good, though, Sasha, you have to read it. Have either of you read Priory yet? Do you want to?
I don't even know what it is.
I could do it as an audio book. I would do, but a physical copy, I don't think I could get through.
I've never heard of it.
It's a very big book, basically. I'm not sure what it's about, though.
I think there are dragons. I think that's like the one thing I know about it.
Yeah, on the cover there was.
Oh
no! Oh dear, we've lost Violet.
Bye, Violet.
Let's move on and pretend this hasn't happened. Okay, so you are very close to the end. That's good to know. I think, okay, Skeek said, I am the Edna mode of prologues.
That's true. Yeah.
No more capes.
I don't know what that means.
No more capes, no more prologues.
In The Incredibles, the lady who doesn't want any of them to have capes.
Oh,
okay,
I get it.
prologues.
That's funny.
Hiding under my blanket. Because I am the prologue in all of my books, girl. I can't help it. Now I'm starting to die.
Cool, I love hearing what everyone thinks. I can't remember what this was in reference to. Oh, of the prologue. Okay. Yes. Correct. 10 out of 10 chiropractors recommend Eragon. I am reading Priory, just not during the stream. And Skeek says Priory is 800 pages long, which is actually not that many more than Danny's copy of Eragon, which is... Oh, there she is. Shall I...
Yeah, but I think this is a weird copy that I have.
Yeah, like when you said 700, I looked, and before all the acknowledgements and all the other goodies, it's only 497.
There's a copy that I want to get. It's like the new versions where they're all 4 books of matching tan covers and everything. Ooh. And that one's only 500 pages. So I don't know why mine is 750. It's just weird.
Mine's 725, but I have the German translation, so it could be a little off.
Yeah, this one was I got it a year after he showed me the 4th one or the 2nd one, the red one, whichever the red one is.
I think it's the 2nd.
The 2nd one, okay, because he has the 2nd one but didn't have the rest of them. So it's well, then what are you doing? I'm gonna buy the rest. So and that's been years.
Yeah, I had all of them at one point, and I just never read them. Now I have the first one in the mass market paperback, really thick one, but really short. like height. And then I have 2 and 4 in like the big hardcover, like you have the first one, Crystal. And I don't know where the third one went.
Oh
When I moved out of my parents' house a couple months ago, it just disappeared. It's gone.
no!
Oh no! I have all 4 books in physical copies, but all of them are in Spain, so I bought a Kindle copy as well. I
Nice.
tried getting the library one, but there was like a 4-week waiting time, and I don't have that long before the proper live stream. So, but yeah, Geek said that, which I think everyone's already read. Michael said, "Wait, you're reading both? I have the number of good piano." What? Okay, I got it now. Yep, Michael being funny as usual. And Sasha says it has the blooper reel, and we'll collapse. So, do we want to do another sprint?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and Anya finds that funny. Okay.
Definitely gonna have to catch up. I'm only on page like 52.
Okay. So that was the end of the second sprint. What are you doing? Stop that. Okay. How did everyone do?
I got 4 more pages and then got a case of Catechus Interruptus because she thought a book was a really comfortable place to chill out on. She just sat down on the desk and was just like, hi.
That's fair. I read, oh god, quick math, 35-ish pages?
Well, I am not actually reading for the stream. I am working on writing stuff, and it's not going well. I just can't get in the zone.
Well, feel free to take a break and read if you feel like it, but also you can keep writing. And I forgot to look at my page count, but I got through a chapter.
Nice.
There were a lot of people talking during that one. Where did I
Including me.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, one more. I can't actually remember what this was about.
Sprint. One more sprint.
Oh, okay. Yes. Thank you. I'm leaving for work in 30 minutes, so this will be my last. Oh no, Steve. Thank you so much for coming, though. I'm
Bye,
guessing you're still
Steve.
here, but. Oh, sad face. Sasha says, okay, the first line of the prologue for Eragon was fantastic. Aw.
Yeah, I had
Yay,
to
I'm
go
glad
back
you're
and
joining
read
us.
it after she said that. I had to go check what it was.
What is it? I didn't want to go back to, like, the start because it's...
The wind howling and it like with... Oh, I don't remember something with... I can't get to it fast enough.
It starts with the wind of change, apparently.
Yeah. Oh, yes, that was it.
Geek says, the only prologue I have ever loved is The Name of the Wind. That one was fantastic. I agree. Anya hates this book so much. Her sister loved it, but she forced herself to read through the whole damn thing and even start the second one, but gave up eventually. Aw, that's so sad. Danny seems to have read The Name of the Wind. Have either of you two read it?
Another one on my list of things I've never heard of. It's a very long list.
Same. Okay, Crystal, thank you for making me feel better.
You're welcome.
It's okay. I've read the first one, but I haven't read the second one, so I'm sort of in the middle.
You're not missing out on much not reading the second one.
My boyfriend liked it.
I did up until about 75% of the way through, and then like the last 25% of the book was just not it.
Now I'm really curious. And you said it wasn't the prologue that made me hate it, though. Aww. And here's where Danny stopped reading and started getting distracted. Do you want to read out your own comment?
Okay, I said I liked it the first time and even the second when they reused it for the epilogue, but then they did the same thing for book 2 and probably will for the third, and so I'm kind of tired of it. Which is, it's true. Like, I thought it was kind of cool how the epilogue of Name of the Wind was like mirroring the prologue with just some little details changed, but then they used the exact same thing in book 2, and I'm just like, that's too much.
Skeek disagrees, though. He says he could read A Silence in 3 Parts all day long. Anya says, what annoyed me was that the story led nowhere. When he comes to the school, it gets so boring. He has financial problems and he's not allowed to the library, nothing else till the end of the book. Skeek says, it's extremely slow. I agree with Anya, and there are parts of book 2 that are pure garbage. The fairyland bits. I'm guessing that's the final 25%. But he'll still read the last book, as will Danny. Anya says that's why I couldn't finish book 2. Dragged on just like the first one, couldn't bear it any longer. My sister listened to the audiobooks. Maybe that might get a difference. And Skeek agrees with his school parts. He was a lot more interesting in the extracurricular activities that involved his hand for the whatever they were called people that started the book. I actually thought the school part was the best bit personally, so I'm disagreeing with all of that. Do you have any thoughts on that, Danny?
I don't know. It was all like, it all just felt like generic fantasy stuff, and it was really well written, but none of it seemed especially fantastic to me. It was more the writing style that I loved so much, and so I was kind of just along for whatever happened.
Okay, that makes sense. I think I read it fairly young as well, so I don't think I was used to fantasy at the time.
Oh, I just read it back in like October, so.
Okay, that makes sense. Anya said, will the third book ever come out? Patrick Rothfuss is under so much pressure after all the praise. I understand that he struggles. The poor man, I would not want to be in his shoes.
That's why the name sounds familiar. I know, I've heard of the author before. I'm sitting here going, I know I've never heard of it, but it kind of sounds familiar. What? And yeah, because of Critical Role.
Yep.
Skeek is leaving us. Bye, Skeek.
Bye.
He finished chapter 4, and now he's getting ready for the 10-hour shift. And he is okay waiting for it. It's one of those moments.
GRRM, George R.R. Martin, he's taking forever to finish whatever book he's currently on, but people really want it, even though they're all going insane.
Okay, that makes more sense. I thought there was just like a frustrated noise.
I mean, I'm pretty sure most of them are making.
Okay, Anja wishes Stig a great shift. And Clutcher got 270 words. Woo! Michael tried to flip through that many pages in one sprint. He got a paper cut. You are a really fast reader.
Oh, I'm so jealous of that.
Oh, Sasha gave us the first sentence. The wind howled through the night, carrying a scent that would change the world. Ooh, that is a good sentence. I had to take a phone call, so only got to page 3 of the epilogue for Eragon. I really like it. Okay.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Stink.
Sasha says, except I never like it when people describe characters as having raven hair. It makes me laugh because people don't speak like that. Yeah, that's kind of strange. Do we want to do the next question? Yeah? Shall I move Violet back up? Because I feel like
No.
as the creator...
The fates wanted it that way, Martha.
It was your responsibility to start with answering the questions.
Okay.
So, how many notes have you been taking so far? I know at the start, like last week, when you said that you had these grand plans to take all of these notes, have these plans changed now that you're actually reading the book? What's your current note-taking experience in preparation for the live stream?
I've taken very little notes since I've gotten into the story. I've just been getting into it, just very vague sort of things. So I hope to get more into it, but I was so worried about just moving along with the story, I forgot about taking notes.
I'm taking a few notes really fast because like I kind of want to get into the story, but there are these like moments that I'm like, either I get lost, so it's like, okay, we're gonna come back to this later to see if this makes sense to me later, or I'll like see if things like, wait, is this foreshadowing? Is it like my brain isn't so much the literary, it's kind of like the plot and like the DM, like more Dungeons and Dragons trying to follow it because the smart brain isn't awake yet, so I can't really think very literally. I can't even say the word. So it's mostly the notes as and if I have a comment of the different shades of purple that is the prose, I kind of like could this be explained better, ? And then I turn into editor mode and I need to stop and start reading again.
I've just been taking notes in the notes app on my phone. I just have like a thing there, and I've been putting like page number and then whatever I'm thinking about that. And I have like a couple, but not a lot. And it's mostly really vague stuff. Like I have a couple of things where I quoted it and we're like, this is a really cool moment of foreshadowing or whatever. And like the one chapter that I read during the first sprint, I just put the page numbers for it and I'm like, dark. Because that's like all it was. And like that sort of thing. I'm having a good time writing notes though, because this was like my favorite part of going to school. Because I'd like have a degree in this. It was like my favorite thing was doing literary analysis. And so I graduated last year, so I haven't been doing that. And it's fun to get back into it.
Aww.
That makes sense. That sounds good. And sort of is a little bit of an answer to my next question as well. But that way you get a bit of a warmer. And yeah, I wasn't originally gonna take notes, but then when we did live stream last week, Violet said she was taking notes. So I started taking notes during live stream and haven't touched my notes since. So I only took notes during live stream last week.
Okay, that makes me feel better. That makes me feel better.
Let's see if anyone's saying anything in the chat. I see I added Doors of Stone, the third book in the series, in November 2017. It's been there 3 fucking years. Katja says, I don't take notes when I read or write. That makes sense. Neither do I normally, but because it's for book club thing, it's a bit more. And Skeek says, and with that I'm off. Take care, peeps. For the 3rd time.
I'm leaving now. How about now?
Michael says, see you, Skeek. So does Sasha. And Anja says, I did take only a few notes on note cards, nothing of importance so far. And that's the end of the comments. So do you guys want to do another sprint?
I'm curious about something.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit. What you guys think? Because in moments in the book, without any spoilers, I noticed that you have like the characters like comes up to another character. It's like, hey, I'm gonna tell you about everything that happened, and then they kind of like breeze by it. So it's like, oh yeah, no, the character totally told them what happened. And do you prefer the writing style of I just told them so, and here's what they think of it at the end, or do you kind of use the more personal, I'm relaying this story with different variants of emotion because you need to hear this and it's more stretched out dialogue, if that makes sense? Realize I need more coffee to actually articulate.
I think in my case it depends on whether we've heard it before. So if it's I'm guessing Eragon retelling something that happened to him already and that we've already seen as the reader, I don't necessarily need to hear it again in dialogue, so I'm fine with just like a quick summary. But if it's something new that we haven't seen, then I would prefer like the long conversation. Violet?
Oh, that's like the one thing I kind of did take a note on was the dialogue. I haven't been loving the dialogue, I'm going to be honest. It's felt really stiff to me, really info dumpy. It doesn't feel like real conversation. I don't know. I don't mind the purple prose in the description, but the dialogue for me has been kind of just stiff. It doesn't sound realistic.
I agree with Marta. Like, if someone's telling a story that we already, like the reader already knows what happened, then I very much prefer it to be like more summarized than straight out said. But I do also like when we get the responses from the person who's listening to like interject every now and then. So like, I don't know, it depends on the situation.
So I'm definitely curious because I'm with you, Violet. It's like it's like trying to sound fantasy dialogue and not so much human people having a dialogue in a fantasy setting. So I'm just like kind of curious what y'all think.
Well, that's what I wrote in my notes, and that's where I wondered if the author's age is showing, that hasn't had these type of conversations in real life or doesn't have the life experience to have that. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Right.
And then Sasha's actually asking another interesting question. Do you guys mark up your books with notes? Danny said she uses the notes app, but anyone doing any underlining, highlighting, yada yada? So I would never mark up a physical book. I am far too precious with my books. I treat them very, very carefully. But I am reading it on my e-reader, so I have been highlighting a little bit on there because I can always delete the highlights, so it's okay.
I'm taking physical notes in a notebook just because I want to donate this copy when I'm done with it.
Yeah, I'm doing the separate notebook notes. I usually do if I'm trying to analyze a book. I did this a lot with Angels and Demons. I would just grab my sticky notes or little papers and I would stick them in the books. And I found that it's like full of just these random sized papers. It looks like a book porcupine right now. It's kind of great. I kind of wish I knew where the sticky notepads were so I could do that here.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I used to mark up my books, like for school and stuff when I was writing papers on them. But like the more I got into reading just for myself and not like notes that I'd have to return to and then write a paper on, I'd kind of just like keep it to myself, or I'll like sometimes if I'm reading and I get to something that's like really cool and I want to like take a note of and I'll want to talk to someone about it, I'll just like text one of my friends and be like, hey, this is this really cool thing that you won't understand because you're not reading this, but I'm going to talk to you about it anyway. But like I used to have these sticky notes that were like kind of see-through, so you could stick them on the page and then still read the words underneath, and that's what I would use to like underline and stuff and make notes on the page without actually writing on the book. I haven't had those in a long time.
Mhm.
Those are like my favorite sticky notes ever.
And Anya also answered the question. She says, I used to do annotations, but nowadays I love my note cards that I keep in the books I'm reading and will later transcribe to my computer.
Neat.
So do you want to do a 25-minute sprint this
Sure.
time?
Sure.
Which I didn't prepare in advance, oh dear. Okay. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves. Okay.
Everyone just do a crazy dance. It's like my socially awkwardness is showing. Nobody look. Go back to being a burrito. Actually, no, because I'm actually not really warm.
And that was the end of the third sprint. How did everyone do?
Caught my stride. I'm on page 75 now. It just got to the oh crap, stuff's happening moment.
Ooh.
Nice.
Oh, Danny, you're muted?
Sorry, I read about 50 pages.
Wow.
Speed reader.
I got through a chapter and a half, but I don't know how many pages.
I'm starting to realize... Good. Do you want to go?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm just writing,
Sorry.
but I got a cool little breakthrough to add some tension to my story.
I was saying I'm starting to realize, I think it's just because we were talking about the Name of the Wind, how similar the magic system is in that series as it is to here with like the naming and everything, which I mean I understand is like a common thing for magic systems, but it seems like super similar.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yep.
A little bit.
I'm definitely realizing more and more what you say, Violet. Like some of the dialogue is just statues, standing statues. Mouth move.
I'm not sure if the dialogue gets better or there's just less of it, but I'm noticing it less.
Well, I think it's just in the beginning. Well, because I've only read the beginning, it's like it seems like it's very like plot focused dialogue. Like the characters say exactly what the plot needs them to say. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am definitely looking forward to dissecting more of the dialogue in more detail during the proper discussion though. Where did we stop? Group just appeared. Michael read 2 pages, one for each eye. Also, Anya left us, and many people said bye to Anya. And Katja got 533 words. Woo!
Nice.
Hi.
Do you want to hear the final question?
Yes.
So Danny already sort of answered it before, but I was wondering if you find the reading experience different when you're doing it for discussion and analyzing purposes, versus when you're just reading for your own enjoyment? And does the analyzing make your reading experience worse?
Oh, that's kind of a hard question.
Sorry.
I don't know if I see a difference, to be honest. Maybe I'm just naturally critical of some things.
I mean, I find that part of my brain never shuts off. Like I'm always kind of trying. It's like kind of when watching a movie is you start seeing like where the dice rolls are or where the character did this thing, so it's going to influence this, and you start trying to predict what you're watching or reading as it's going. I don't think that part of my brain ever turns off. With this, I'm trying to get myself back into the college book report analyzing-ness, and it's definitely a very weak muscle right now. I'm trying to flex a little bit. So I do find that since I'm trying to do it this way, if I'm reading another, like just for giggles, I read faster and I skim more, and I'm trying to get to like pull the brakes to keep myself, writing notes and stuff. So it definitely changes a little bit than usual.
That's a good
but it's
answer.
still fun.
This is gonna make me sound like a gigantic nerd, but I feel like the analyzing and like figuring things out is the enjoyment for me. Like, I don't know.
I was
It's just
expecting it to say that.
like I can read a book and like just like surface read it and still enjoy it, but like getting like deep into the story and like figuring out things that like the average reader wouldn't like notice is like my favorite thing. And so like I love deep reading so much. It's like the best part of reading to me.
That explains why you have a booktube channel. Yeah, I don't actually I don't have any literature qualifications or anything. I didn't really do much book analyzing in school either. So I do need to try harder if I want to like analyze things so that I can talk about it later. Normally I just read entirely for enjoyment. So I find that it makes me not enjoy it less when I'm reading, but it makes it harder for me to bring myself to read because I know that I have to pay more attention. Normally I just read like before bed when I'm really tired and too tired to do anything else. But if I'm analyzing, I might like not feel like it because it's more effort. But other than that, it doesn't make it worse as such, just more tiring.
I think it depends also like on the genre that I'm reading, because like I definitely think of different like when I'm reading a thriller or a rom-com, which is something like maybe more for enjoyment. I'm not as critical of like that kind of very just commercial thing, but whereas like fantasy, because it's the genre I write in, I'm a little more.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
For me, I feel like I'm less critical reading manga, which I've gotten into a lot over the past year, and I think it's because it's more of a serial format, whereas like you pick up a novel and you know that the author has like thought of this as a whole and like it's supposed to be one cohesive story. But like with a manga, a lot of things aren't really figured out in the long term. It's more like, okay, let me get through this arc and then I'll figure out the next arc and then I'll figure out the end kind of thing. So I'm less like trying to figure out where things connect.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Shall we see if anyone in the comments is answering the question? Sasha says, thank Danny, just reading Speed Girls, I got to page 13. And Michael says, I really think I only read one way. Okay, what way is that? Okay, Michael being funny again. Oh. Danny's standing by the event.
Well, we're all writers here. We know we know the feeling.
Oh, definitely.
I feel like that was too short of a break. Any of you want to suggest a conversation topic? Sasha says, I am with Danny on how I read. Also, for analysis purposes, I will take notes because this old brain can't remember anything. Yeah, that makes sense. I think if I tried to take notes, that would just I would never read. Too much effort.
I don't know. I think I just also remember a lot in my head because I've been filming my reading wrap-ups, and I don't keep notes for any of those. I just remember the things that I don't like.
Definitely. Well, this is like the first book I've really read in the last few years with the actual intent to attempt to finish it. So it's definitely feels like I use the muscle analogy. I'm just going to use it again. Like I definitely finding myself finally starting to get comfortable reading again.
Do we want to do like a little 10 or 15 minute one and then like a little outro? Or
I think we should do the dinos again.
Do what?
Yeah.
Oh.
Dinos.
Dinos.
I wasn't gonna use it twice just because I don't want to be too vain, but if you want dinos, I can put this on. There it is. No. surprisingly difficult. Okay. Yay, well done, everyone. How did everyone get on for that one?
A
Good.
couple pages. Noticed a thing that made me annoyed. But it's all right.
I read 15 pages in Eragon, and then I read a short story that my friend wrote for his class that he wanted me to check out for him.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, really nice. I'm still trucking along here. Just trying to. I have this finished zero draft, and I'm just trying to add conflict to it because right now the story is very easygoing. So I'm coming up with some ideas to make it harder for my characters.
That sounds good. I managed to get through a couple of pages. Forgot to check again. What's the time? Do you guys wanna hold on, let me look at the comments first. And then do you guys wanna do the outros?
Sure.
Okay. So Sasha said, give the people what they want. Dino.
Yep. All the dino timer, all the time.
And Michael agrees. And if anyone in the chat wants to tell us how they got on, otherwise I'm just gonna go ahead with the outros. Do we wanna do opposite way around? So I can torture Violet and make them
That look of shit.
Oh, okay. I'm Violet. My channel is Writing Violet. My Instagram is also Writing Violet, and I'm also the one who started this crazy nostalgia train book club. I have the information announcement video on my channel and invite to the Discord in like all the description boxes of all my recent videos.
They're also linked in this video if anyone wants to
Oh,
go through
yeah,
them
good.
that way.
Yeah, so that's me.
I'm Danny. My channel is somberhoney. Check me out if you want to watch mediocre videos about reading, writing, and other fun stuff.
I'm Crystal. My channel is Crystal's Cluster, where I make writing content, gameplay content, and some D&D content with some or more or less animation. Depends if my computer's a potato. It's a cluster. I'm insane. It's fine.
And my name is Marta, and I make art and writing videos. Also, do we want to look at the last two comments?
Yeah.
Really quickly. Hold on, I missed one. Michael said, are you all planning another stream? I don't know. Maybe?
Good
I'm
question.
sure you'll be the first to know. But we will be doing a discussion on the book on Violet's channel, so make sure you're subscribed to her for that. And all the book club stuff will be in the description, like she already said. Sasha managed to read 9 pages, and she's in the chapter called Dragon Tales.
Oh yeah, which chapter?
Needs numbers. LL Dion needs numbers.
And Michael is being sweet, and Sasha's also being sweet. So thank you so much for everyone that came to this. Sorry if I was very, very anxious at the start. I hope it got better.
You did just
good.
It was good.
Any final things? Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.